Is there a price to pay for paying attention? While most people are free from neurological conditions that affect things like concentration, impulse, motivation, and activity level, others find that these things come at a cost. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is a neurodivergent condition that impacts the brain and affects its ability to regulate these and other related factors. ADHD affects every part of a person's life. According to the National Institute of Health in 2022, college students with ADHD have a 5% likelihood of graduating, ever. This is compared to the national statistic of 63% for the average person. People with ADHD often find themselves at a disadvantage in social groups, the workplace, and especially the classroom. In order to combat this, stimulant medications are sometimes used to regulate the nervous system of people with this condition and assist in relieving many common symptoms of the disorder. But again, at what cost? While medical professionals have worked to create effective medication and therapeutic practices for people with ADHD, those who take stimulants like Adderall, Vyvanse, Focalin, and Concerta often say the pros do not outweigh the cons. These prescriptions are commonly known as study drugs, and prescriptions for them are on the rise every year. But do they really get the job done? And are the potential physical and emotional detriments really worth it? Anna Pierce, a senior journalism major at the University of Southern Mississippi, has ADHD. Her experience has been marked by many of the most common symptoms of the disorder.
So having ADHD, if anyone has it, they will know that it's very frustrating because a lot of people make fun of it in ways, and I could not tell one story at a time. So it's just I could not concentrate.
Pierce has experience with a few of the medications commonly used to treat ADHD. Most notably, she has spent the past 7 years of her life on the stimulant medication Adderall, a drug known for its many possible side effects.
So whenever I first started it, as everyone always experiences with this, I'm assuming was weight loss tremendously because it makes you not eat. Some other side effects is not being able to sleep. That's a big one. Medicines altogether, it kind of is awful because all sorts of different medicines lead to all sorts of different side effects. It gives us like brain fog, weight loss, staying up at night. I'll get like jittery hands and stuff. I get headaches a lot too.
Along with the physical effects, Pierce says her mental health has also been impacted by the medications.
I know Adderall has been prone to make people act as a zombie in some way. It just makes you kind of like go out of it in a way. There will be some days wherever I'm like, is this who I really am, like taking my medicine, because I've been on it for 7 years that I feel like my medication is my personality.
Because of these side effects, she jumped at the chance to take a break from Adderall last summer. Here's how it impacted her.
So the first time I'd ever taken an actual break from it was this past year, 2023. I got off of it for only 3 weeks, but just being off of it for those 3 weeks changed like my whole personality. I was eating again, gained weight back, I was talking a lot. But whenever I was off of it for 3 weeks, life was definitely like a bright yellow, like that's for sure, because it was a lot happier. But then summer classes started and I tried focusing without it. And who knows, it could be my thing. It could be me thinking, oh, I can't concentrate without Adderall, but my brain just never stops. So I had to get back on it, and ever since then, I've been back on it.
Even with these negative side effects, Pierce says that her medication is ultimately worth the cost, because it allows her to complete the tasks that she needs to do in everyday life.
But with school, it definitely helps me a lot because it just keeps me quiet and able to actually concentrate. But like I said, and it does have its negative, because whenever I got off of it, it's like you're choosing either like, hey, you can be happy, or hey, you can concentrate. Because whenever I got off of it, I was so happy, but then I couldn't concentrate.
Anna Pierce's story is only one of thousands of students impacted by these so-called study drugs and attention-heightening stimulant medications. Benjamin Dunn is another student with ADHD who experiences many of the same symptoms as Pierce while taking a similar medication, Focalin.
It's hard to concentrate on just one thing always. Even when I know I should be concentrating on that one thing, I'm kind of always switching between everything. So it's just hard to stay on one topic at one time.
Unlike Pierce, however, he stopped taking stimulant medication as a kid because of the negative impacts.
I think from the ages of 8 to 12, I was on it, on and off, because I would take it for like a week at a time, and then I would feel I just wouldn't like it, and then I just completely quit it. Like, I was able to focus on things, I will say, but I just felt, the way I term it is like a zombie. It just felt zombied out, kind of just, I don't know, no excitement, no highs, no lows, just middle, just kind of plain, kind of just there.
While Dunn acknowledges the positive effects of stimulant medication for many students with ADHD, the mental impacts kept him from consistently taking them.
It did help with ADHD. I was definitely more focused when I was taking it, but yeah, I didn't like it enough to keep taking it, I guess.
Dunn says that these medications work for some people and not for others. Now that he's older, Dunn is considering trying ADHD stimulant medication again through a different prescription this time.
From my point of view, that'd be like the only thing where maybe there was another medicine that could have been given. You know, now reflecting back on that time, how that could be, you know, maybe not Focalin, but some sort of medicine. So from that point of view, yes, I would say it was a good thing overall. So obviously I know about Adderall. You mentioned Focalin, Vyvanse, and some other ones.
There are many common impacts of ADHD stimulant medication. Kobe McClure is another student who shares many of these experiences from his time taking Concerta.
I didn't eat as much. I was just like emotionless, especially in the first 3 hours of the day, like in the morning time. My friend said I was like a brick wall.
Despite these symptoms, McClure says his ADHD medication did come with a few benefits.
I was kind of more motivated though to do my work. I definitely know I was way more productive when I had it. Not lazy, but I was just I was a much better student on it.
However, these benefits ultimately did not outweigh the cost for him, as McClure recently stopped taking ADHD stimulant medication altogether.
It's not worth the feeling to me. I didn't like feeling like that.
Some of the feelings he had about his Concerta prescription and other stimulant medications gave him a little bit of insight into the path that leads some people into addiction to stimulant medication.
It was kind of, I don't know why I want to say fun. It was a little bit fun. I don't know. Everybody would try to just get some, you know. They think they'd be more productive. You became very popular. That's about it. A lot of people just really love Adderall and medicine like that, I guess. I don't know.
Stimulant medications have been proven to lead to addiction, substance abuse, physical side effects, and other potentially life-altering issues in some cases. Medical professionals like Shantae Ferguson say that these conversations around ADHD stimulant medication need to happen to shed light on students who find that paying attention comes at a cost.
My name is Shantae Ferguson. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I work at Mississippi Medical Clinic. Okay, so Adderall is what we call a CNS stimulant, so it's a central nervous system stimulant, which for people with ADHD, it actually does the reverse on them, so it kind of calms those agitations and those hyperactivity centers in their brain with dopamine and norepinephrine. So they kind of do the reverse on them as it would for somebody who does not have it.
Ferguson says that there are many negative effects of stimulant medications that must be closely monitored in students with ADHD.
Anorexia is the main one. Dry mouth, agitation, like I said, weight loss was one of them, and dizziness and irritability because it is a stimulant.
According to Ferguson, the side effects don't stop with minor physical inconveniences.
So these are kind of like the common ones. The most dangerous would be, the main one is death because it can be abused, and so too much can cause actually cardiac arrest. High blood pressure is one of them that we would worry about, especially in kids, and then the increased pulse rate is another one.
Ferguson says that with recent surges in the amount of students receiving Adderall, Vyvanse, and similar prescriptions, safeguards have been placed by the medical community in order to protect students with ADHD.
So what we consider is like a black box warning, which is for the abuse, misuse, and actually the addiction part of it, where somebody who's on it, they like the increased energy level, they like the calming kind of effect. It can be overused, which can lead to death if it's abused in the wrong way.
As well as these medical advisories, testing for ADHD has become more strict than before in order to ensure students are receiving proper care for their specific situation and symptoms.
I think especially with probably in the last maybe 5-10 years, because there's such a rise in kids who are diagnosed with ADHD, and you actually have to have testing to be diagnosed with it.
According to Ferguson, the best way to protect students with ADHD is to continue the conversation around the disorder and the types of treatments they receive.
I think it's a topic that needs more attention, one, because of the abuse, and also maybe they felt like they were trapped inside. Mm-hmm. So like, are we dosing them at the correct way where they're able to do their work, but they are actually still, their personality and all is still there?
By recognizing the experiences of students like Anna, Benjamin, and Kobe, and acknowledging the advice of medical professionals like Nurse Ferguson, the price of paying attention may be able to deflate. In order to combat substance abuse, addiction, physical impacts, and the personality shifts that often come with ADHD stimulant prescriptions, the stigma behind the issue must be erased. ADHD is not laziness. It's not equivalent to intelligence. ADHD is a real medical condition. The medications used to treat it are often causing more harm and more stigma. So let's talk about it. Let's make paying attention a little safer, a little easier, and a lot more affordable in more ways than one.